It's the grand finals of Overwatch Pretenders. What's up? I mean, am I the only one here, or do I have a co-caster? What's going on?
Well, today your co-caster is me, Moshi Man. I'm here to talk about a lot of things related to Overwatch, along with you.
Four bears. Yeah. Hey, see, we finish each other's sandwiches, just like that one Disney movie. Today we're going to be seeing a wonderful matchup between, as you can see right now, Artificial Sky and Scorched. It's going to be something that, well, the entire season has been leading up to. We have a lot of things to talk about and a lot of things in store. What are you most looking forward to, Moshi?
I'm looking forward to the exquisite combat mechanics that these teams are going to display here. We have I believe Artificial Sky with a really strong dive composition and
Mhm.
Scorched with some really strong technical mechanics, right? And they've been practicing together only for like one season of our league, and same with Artificial Sky. They were one of the newer teams to enter the league
Mhm.
along the same at the same seat time as Scorched did. So
Yeah, yeah.
they both had the same amount of time to practice, but Scorch is 8-0, 9-0,
9-0, yeah.
and
They have an insane map differential. It's something like plus 36 or plus 24, one of those two. And Artificial Sky coming up with a plus 15 map differential, which is, I mean, both of these are absolutely insane in their own rights. And yeah, just like you said, Artificial Sky's dive is known to be the best in the league. It's actually something that when I spoke to the Scorched team coach, um, they said it was something that they were in fact worried about, and that's something that they're really trying to play around and really anticipating, especially on these really dive centric maps, like that first point of Eichenwald or like that first point of Dorado, whichever one's being chosen. Um, and of course, who could forget Scorch's very, very hyper aggressive tank line? Something that we're really going to see this time. I think that's Turk and Mewbot going to be playing tanks on Scorched. And I'm really, really looking forward to see what they bring to the table. And it looks like this is going to be their starting six. It's going to be Mewbot, Can, Jabo, Turk, Adondi, and well, it looks like that sixth slot is empty right now. Um, but nonetheless, I'm really, really excited to see this matchup, as I'm sure a lot of people are.
yeah, it's going to be a good match. We got some strong players here, on both sides.
Mhm.
Uh, is there any particular player you're looking out for specifically, like that is known to kind of not carry the team, but help the team gel in a way that you know helps them towards victory?
Right. When I was actually speaking over to Scorched's team, Jabo in fact cited Turk as one of the linchpins of what made their very hyper aggressive tank line work. Turk, of course, their off tank. He's the one who's going to be really going with uh, going with that back line and really making sure that they're able to be as aggressive as they're able to be. I'm really going to be looking out for Turk on Artificial Sky. I've been told that Djibouti is also someone to look out for. And look at how early he is. He's the first one out of his whole team ready to go in the Artificial Sky roster. And can't wait to see what those last five slots are going to fill up. What about you?
Yeah, I'm looking at some profiles here. Djibouti is really strong on Genji, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course Turk seems to like Diva and Zarya, the two excellent off tanks that I also
Mm-hmm.
love to play. Um, we've got Mewbot, who is gonna bring things in with main tank, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the most important things is as an off tank you can't play without your main tank, and that takes a lot of practice being
Mm-hmm.
together and timing things right. Your offense defense kind of you carry the team behind you, so as
Mm-hmm.
you move you have to move with your team, and that's a lot of communication. So that you know we got to rely on
Mm-hmm.
the tanks for that specifically, and if they can do that, I think they can pull it through. And
So,
yeah,
so let me ask you a question. If you were Artificial Sky, what do you think your game plan would be? What do you think your win conditions would be? And let's say you take Artificial Sky and I'll take Scorched. Why don't you go first?
well, I think if depending on the map we're on, we either
Mhm.
get Eichenwald or Blizzard World. um you know Eichenwald can kind of stall on that second choke where you go uphill and past the castle.
Mhm.
But we know Art Sky being on attack, their dive is really strong on that point
Mhm.
specifically because you can dive up to the top of the castle. You can
Right.
take space that way. So if you force them back to behind the bridge, you can just walk a cart all the way up and uncontested, and at that point, you've won that point. The final
Right.
point's a different story, but I think that's a big can be a big stopping point, potentially for Scorched when
Hmm.
they lose. So I think Artificial Sky might have to take advantage of their talent on dive on that point on defense to win the map there, because a lot of the times Eichenwald goes all the way to the end,
Hmm.
and there's just a minute or a minute and a half difference in time. And
Right.
if
Right.
you want to stall them out at the point that you have the advantage, I think that's the best thing that Artsai can do on Eichenwald. Blizzard World, I'm not so sure about, but I'd like to hear your take.
Actually, speaking of Blizzard World, I was speaking to Jabo earlier, and I know that the legendary Scorched Blizzard World defense is something that more than one team has talked about. He was describing how he would run this like really odd triple DPS setup, with including with one of the DPS being a Torbjorn, and that was just a defense that no team could get by without a lot of focus on that back line and a lot of focus on um, really focused firing. So I'm really excited to see that come out. And I've always seen Scorched as these masters of innovation with these really weird comps that coming out on places like Control Point or on places like 2 point capture. I'm actually expecting to see a lot of goats. We do have, that leisure hyper aggressive tank line you're going to hear me talk about, this entire series. We have a lot of flex players and support players. Scorcher very much took a flex player roster approach to a lot of recruitment priority. And as a result, I think we're going to see a lot of goats from Scorched. I think we're going to see a lot of Death Ball, and honestly, with those mercy nerfs, earlier in the year, that just might be exactly what they need to clinch it. Um,
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to, I don't want to take sides here, but if you were to pick, who you're leaning toward right now, where are you thinking? Where do you think this match is going to go?
Well, when my team played against Scorched, we lost, just obviously because they are 9-0.
I think that's
And
everyone.
when we
Yeah.
played against yeah, when we played against Artificial Sky, we also lost. So, my perspective to losing from both teams is that I think Scorched has a strong, communication and tactical advantage. And I think
Mhm.
Artificial Sky might have they might be stuck in their roles. So Scorched being as flexible as you
Mhm.
say may come out with the victory because of that. That's my opinion.
Interesting. And I'm actually gonna take the alternate route here. In talking with Artificial Sky, I noticed that they focused a lot on communication and they focused a lot on improvement as a team. And a big note that you might see not on the Scorched roster is the lack of their main tank Ember, right? And that's going to be a big one because it was Ember who really enabled that hyper aggressive Ryan and really took those resources from a lot of those healers from Scorched and really made it work with them. And he was the one who very much defined the pace of how Scorched would fight. And I'm interested to see if Artificial Sky can capitalize on the lack of someone in such a role for Scorched. Speaking of Artificial Sky, we do have their starting six in front of us right now. We have Djibouti over on DPS, Strike Mist, LibbyCat 89 on support, and D30 also on DPS, Sherlock coming up on tank, and Swalarma, he's a flex player, but I think he's going to be filling that off support role. So I'm really, really excited. I've seen a couple of VODs, and I've seen Swalarma pop off when they need to, and I've seen Djibouti pop off when he needs to. So I really think that their win condition is going to be really enabling those DPS go do what they want, and that's going to mean grinding out those support ultimates. So I think that both teams are ready. I'm excited to see where this is gonna go in the first map of the Overwatch Pretenders Finals. Are you excited? I'm super
I,
excited.
I'm stoked. Ha! You could say I'm almost so stoked that it scorched me.
and all of our viewers just, but that's
What
what.
did you say? You cut out.
Oh, forgive me. I said all of our viewers probably just rolled their eyes, but hey, that's what we're here for.
That's what I'm aiming for. You could
Wonderful.
say they were looking at the sky.
I'm I'm so done.
All right, I promise not to make any more jokes. Looks like we're going to have a little bit more time before the match starts. There may be something. Djibouti has some sort of request. So let's see what it is, and then we'll get into this as soon as we can.
Alrighty.
Looks like one of their players is away from their keyboard. So let's wait for him to get back, and then we'll have the match on our hands.
We're just getting a bit of troubleshooting going on. It looks like both teams from both sides are readying up. And we're finally in on Eichenwald. Yes, the wonderful place where Balderike, Reinhardt's mentor, finally said goodbye to the world. A place where Reinhardt really found his calling, and a place where we're going to have our first round coming out on Overwatch Pretenders.
And yeah, if in case anyone's joining late or doesn't really know that much about Overwatch Pretenders, we are a community-driven league, and the teams are built up of anywhere from silver, bronze, up to diamond, low diamond players, and it's all a community about learning and getting better, becoming teams. Potentially, once you become good enough, you kind of graduate, you can become a coach. But this is the finals. This is the finals of season 2, season 2 of Overwatch Pretenders, and we're looking forward to having prosperous and long community here. We want to have a good time.
Of course. And let's talk about what's going on right now. So over on Artificial Sky, we do see Strike Mist over on Reinhardt. We see Ludica 89 over on Mercy. We do see that Hanzo Zarya coming up on D-Circuit and Sherlock and Swolarma clocking in on that Ana. So they're going to have a lot of heals coming out, right, where those two semi-main heals, Ana being that main healer, and Mercy, even though she's fallen out of the meta just a little bit, still able to pocket people like that McCree at Hanzo to get the picks that they so need. I'm really, really excited to see what these guys can do.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited too. It looks like we've got some lineups. We've got Doomfist here coming out. And Doomfist, we always know, is a very strong pick. He can just dive in, pick those healers, pick off those squishy DPS, and really do some damage. So
that's right, but he's going to have that honest sleep to deal with, that Hanzo Stormio to deal with, and we're off to the races. That Reconner is going to give them some early insight on what Scorched is running on attack. That's Scorched on attack, and immediately they go all the way around over to the left side. They're going on main. Strike Mist trying to come in with that cheeky charge. Not exactly getting it, but no, it's going to be Djibouti, D30, and Strike Mist just cleaning up with a Dondi not getting the dive he wanted, but did able to in fact get Strike Mist. So that's going to be something.
Yep.
That
looks
they're
like
going to be able to deal with.
The res comes out there for Mercy, and she's going to be able to bring the Rhine and take him off cooldown. So they'll have everyone there for the second push. They should be able to hold off Scorched here for a minute.
So they're just trading these picks back and forth. D30 and Swallowma still just shutting this fight down before it can even begin.
Yeah, taking that Reinhardt out is a really big pick.
In fact, it's actually going to enable them to already get both their Shatter and their Dragon Strike just ready to go. Whereas we're still charging up those ults over on Scorch's side. And they're trying to do the same exact thing. And only into Dragons. Following up with the Shatter. And there's like Strikness and Mubot. They're both trading blows. But Mubot is antied. And he's going to go Dondi, takes out D30, goes into the grab.
Yep.
And
like Scorched here has the advantage.
They're just cleaning up, and once again, it's being really aggressive. It's going to play to their advantage. That swap to the Brigida is going to be something I think that really enabled them, really just inhibiting that Ryan, inhibiting that Hanzo from popping off the way he needed to, as well as putting pressure on that backline.
Yep.
And now we do see D taking the high ground, only to be taken out, or not taken out, rather jumped on by a Dondi. It's a...
Yeah, it looks like he's forced out of the high ground there, which is a really good position for him. So, but now we have Far Mercy up in the air, trying to rain down on the Brigitte, and you know Brigitte is very weak to Farah.
Yeah, and you know, Farah's also a counter Doomfist, right? So really targeting that Doomfist is now also about to Meteor Strike to a very almost spread out Artificial Sky, trying to get Solarma, but didn't get it. Unfortunately, Djibouti is just raining justice from above. And I really think Djibouti's looking for those very, very cheeky concussion nades. As that Mortal comes out, he's trying to attack Sherlock.
Yeah, but the Valkyrie here healing Reinhardt.
And both that grab and the rush come down, and there was that Reinhardt ult. That was Mewbot. That was interrupted. That's something that's going to cost him dearly as a Dondi does look to reset. D30 devoting Dregs to take out Mewbot. And that's going to be something that they will, in fact, probably looking for, milking out these ultimates. And speaking of ultimates, everyone's still just charging theirs up. Now, there are a lot of ultimates used in that last fight. And we got to think, what exactly is Artificial Sky going to do about that new Widow? That's going to be Jado.
Well, if you look here, we have the D.Va swap coming out, probably trying to look to contest high ground and dive against, you know, D.Va and contest that high ground again. But Reinhardt is with D.Va, and, you know, you have to play a little more passive. But look here, Scorched is on the point while Art Sky is being left behind. Sherlock and Mercy right on the point there. Farah doing some slam damage.
Strikers does get the pick over on Adandi, and that's going to cause, you know, all of his team just to go in right now, even though Jabo takes out Djibouti and both pieces of that Far Mercy. Actually, scratch that. This might be a Scorched point.
Well, not quite. Looks like we got Swalama and Deserti here on the point. Reinhardt comes in.
Strikeman is just cleaning up.
Yeah.
And it looks like they will have one more fight to win. That's going to be Scorched. Alrighty. I was told there were a bit of mic issues. Hopefully that's better. And hopefully you guys can hear me get so excited about the shatter into a Dragon Blade. That's D30. Popping Romeo, popping Adandi with that follow-up on Storm Arrow, and that's going to be a quick team ending. With Turk also looking to reset. Now, I've been watching a lot of Turk's D.Va. Now, what he really likes to do is he really wants Swallow's number. He's looking to dive that Ana, and he's looking to allow his Doomfist, you know, that primary DPS, Adandi, to really get the picks he needs. Something he's been struggling with all game. Goes immediately into Meteor Strike after getting antied.
Here comes the grab though from Art Sky. Doesn't really get too many people, but it does stall Scorched off the point long enough to separate the Doomfist from his team here and just have Baby D.Va and Widow left on the card.
But I'm still looking at this Doomfist. He got that D.Va earlier. He did get that Hanzo, and he is still alive and kicking. But no, D30 does take out Turk. Libbycat getting the resurrect.
Spawn advantage is just going to be too great here for Art Sky. They were able to sacrifice their lives to kind of tie with Scorched. But they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to trickle really hard if they were to get this Widow here. Strike Mist looking for it, but no, he's gonna get almost baited by Donnie, but gets knocked back on the bridge. Oh,
as sights finally come out, we do see that D30 has his Hanzo Storm Arrow, and that nuke does come out, catches D30. They're not gonna have dragons this fight, and this is gonna allow them possibly this is gonna be a Scorched point. Swallow trying their best. But no, looks like they did pull it out yet, and that Hanzo pick was clutch. Speaking of Hanzo, D30, he's sleeping. He's taking a bit of a nap, but he does miss the anti-nade. Looks like he will be able to get back with his team. And they're just trading back and forth. Sights immediately get used. That's Jabo again, still staying on that Widowmaker, trying to see if he can pick off people like that Genji. That's now on Art Sky's team. Dragons come out. D30 does catch two. His dragons have been on point because even two people just shut down this fight. And Adandi, he's really trying his best.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to fight this Reinhardt all by himself.
And
The team
honestly,
is just gonna collapse on him.
he might just get it. But no, he does. He does go down, getting the pick.
60 seconds.
With 1 minute remaining, that's one good team fight, and also a lot of Junkrat mines to chew through as Jabo swaps over to Junkrat and off Widowmaker.
So I think
And,
switching, switching to Junkrat is a double-edged sword.
Definitely, but speaking of double-edged sword, look at that blocked Reinhardt ultimate, and of course, Strike Miss with that counter, picking up 3 people on the way, being supported by Shark and Soul Armor, Lilycat getting that resurrect off. I swear,
Scorched
if this
has
team
one more
doesn't
push.
know,
One more push from Scorched here we're going to see, and they're either going to take it all the way or they're going to just get squished. Because, look, Graviton, Blade.
and this team, ArtSky, has been managing the ultimates so well this round. They're dead. There's nothing going in Sherlock. He's just waiting, and he gets that, Blade, along with Dragons.
Well, that's
And
just clean. That is
And
so
that's
clean.
all she wrote, boys. Well, I mean, not just quite yet. Jabo can still pull something out. Does get Strike Missed. You just have to appreciate how much damage what Doomfist and Junkrat can do on their own.
Complete.
Yeah, it can be difficult to handle, but ArtSky,
Score.
doing their best.
Just managing those ultimates well is going to lead them to victory. But I mean, we've seen Scorch's intense defense holds, especially on maps like Blizzard World and Eichenwald. So let's see what they have in store for us.
Yes, we'll see. So contrary to my what I said at the beginning of the match or during the preamble, I said that Eichenwald often goes to the last point, but as you can see, ArtSky held it all the way. So,
And if that's not a testament to just the high level of gameplay that these are playing at, as part of Overwatch Pretenders, I don't know what is. And we're looking for the entire series to be as exciting as this. I mean, that something that really struck out to me was it was Strike Mist's read on Mewbot's Shatter. So Mewbot came in with that nano, shattered. The shatter got blocked. Strike Mist immediately knew that Mewbot was going to probably fire Strike as a follow-up, counter shattered, and they were able to take that second to last fight. That's something I think that you don't see in a lot of those ranked games that a lot of these players, including myself, are playing at.
yeah, the team environment here allows for a lot more structure and some just kind of some solidarity of mind, to be playing mind games with the opposing Reinhardt and know your team
Definitely.
has your back. Because if you know your team has your back, you can make plays like
And
that.
speaking of really strange mind games, we're seeing a triple support dive from Artificial Sky. At least it looks like it. Let's see what this team has in store.
I
Up
have seen this
against-
before.
Have you now? And how did it go for them?
Well, it won.
It won. Well, let's see. This Sombra is gonna be going around. That's Jabo. She's gonna be trying to get those key picks like that Zen, like that Mercy. Oh, and it looks like that Zen actually did swap off over to the Brig. They did swap out, and they're immediately going incredibly aggressive with that Lucio speed boost. With that
Yeah, they're
stun
just
on
guiding
Mewbot, the
them
Mewbot's
right.
half strike is taken him out. Was that a shatter? No, that couldn't have
No,
been.
no, it was a fire strike.
That was a fire strike. D-Study and Strike Mist are going to be just cleaning up as Sherlock goes on, tries to get Can, Strike Mist on Jabo, and that's going to be just an incredible level of restraint for using those abilities. Romeo using that shield dash to initiate,
Objective lost.
and Lucio just using that speed boost. That's just excellent work on both teams.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
just
did go in the favor of Artificial Sky.
a really strong display of coordination there, but Sherlock is kind of out of position. His team does follow up though,
And
Shatter
that was
coming in here.
a shatter on what was that into the Zarya bubbles? I don't think anyone was by that.
Yeah, it was just the Zarya, but the Zarya did get shattered, but did not die.
I see. Well, I'm so glad I have a second co-caster here with me to check out all this action. Lots of votes come out. That's EMP, Nuke, Shatter, Rally. and Turk and Adandi come out with 2 picks and a shatter on Swalarma and D30. Both of them, they want to go out. D30 coming in with his shield bash, trying his best to stay alive. He does have that Zarya bubble. That's Djibouti. That's supporting his supports the best way he knows how, by using those bubbles. And I have to say, the communication on Artificial Sky must be insane to set up something like that. Djibouti still being aggressive, calling in his team, saying, hey, I want to work with my grab and I want to work on it now.
Oh, but he does get slept here. That's going to be quite a hindrance. They're not going to have bubbles.
And we do have Jabo on the back, and grab does come out into that rally, but Djibouti does take out Romeo, Can, and D30 on Turk. This is going to be a thoroughly blue kill feed.
Yeah, and there comes the Moira ult. I don't know if that was necessary, but it did allow for an easy cleanup there. And speed is what they want at this point, I have a feeling.
And Adandi still sort of sneaking around, you know, on high ground, but oh, he does get seen by that Winston. He does get seen by Strike Mist as a Nano Brig comes out, but Strike Mist does get the pick on Can. That might be exactly what they need to push that payload, who currently has nobody on it.
Yeah, it seems like someone should be on that right now. And there goes Moira sitting on the payload, supporting from the back lines.
But it very much seems like Artificial Sky's aggression is going to be their saving grace this round. D30 and Strike Mist picking up Newbot and Romeo and JBO. You know, it was strange. Romeo was actually known to be one of the best Mercies in the league. So it's very interesting seeing Flux on Brigida. I can't wait to see what he has going on. Adandi still on backline, picking up 2 in D30 and Libbycat, and might be the way Artificial Sky is just holding down point.
Unless their team can get here quickly, though, I think Art Sky may have to back off. But here comes the Winston ult, kind of to bounce them around.
Rage does come out. Mewbot looking to disengage, actually. No, but Adandi still on point.
Yeah, so that Scorched took that point nice and solid.
That would rather held that point.
Yeah.
And it looks like some swaps might be coming out. Strike Mist swapping back onto the Reinhardt. Right, we're seeing a bit more of a traditional Goats comp, right? We see that Reinhardt, we see that Zarya, and that D.Va into that Lucio Brig Moira. So let's just wait to see the brawl potential of this. Unfortunately, that Doomfist, Adandi, and that Sombra behind it, Jabo, is just looking around. We see that EMP maybe coming out, but no, that's not going to do something now. Jabo still held on to it. Now, that was a strange... I'm very curious on why he did that, but no, now he EMP'd.
Yeah, I think he EMP'd to get rid of the shields from the Lucio ultimate.
That's a fantastic way to really win that fight with that reactive ult. But Mewbot coming out with Strike Mist. It really seems like these Reinhardts are getting shatters just every 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's really quick.
If that's not an incredible display of skill, I don't know what is. As Scorched still holds. And like you said, that spawn advantage is going to be something they're going to have to deal with, because the way that card is, they're going to have to fight through a lot of ground if they want to get to that card anytime soon.
Yep. I was about to say the exact same thing, is that, you know, Scorched has that spawn advantage just enough to push Art Sky back. You know, Scorched gets 1 kill on Art Sky, and, you know, they're at a disadvantage immediately. Whereas you can stall the team fight out until your healer gets back if you're Scorched. And that just,
we do see Jabo. We do see Jabo still being aggressive. He gets the hack off on Sherlock, playing really aggressively, just sort of stalling for time, it seems like. And time, I know Artificial Sky doesn't have a lot of, at 1 minute. As rally, and it looks like they're just preparing. This is the calm before the storm, ladies and gentlemen. As this just might be the last fight on Eichenwald.
Yeah, we do have Shatter from Art Sky and Rally and Bomb.
But on on Scorched side, we do see a grab, and we see that nuke coming out finally with Swarma getting a double boop on tank.
This is gonna take the point for
This is gonna be it. Or rather, I don't want to say that's all she wrote just yet. Jabo still trying his best to stay on point. That Doomfist looks like he's just looking to reset. It looks like they have decided to give this over to Art Sky, as Mewbot and Turk are probably thinking to themselves, how did that Lucio boot me off? And that's gonna be Swalama, who also has sound barrier.
Yep, we've got sound barrier coming in.
And it looks like Grab and Nano and Shatter, and that's gonna be if that's not play the game from Mewbot, I don't know what is. Look, all of those reds in the kill feed. Mewbot must be feeling pretty good about herself after that one.
Yeah, I don't know. That seemed like an interesting use of all of those ults. I think they could have gotten away with just using Grab, but it's really good. they were able to hold because they have no time.
And
to waste.
Adandi actually called for a pause. So we're going to be just taking a bit of a break. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this opportunity to check out the Twitch chat. We see Jabo, let's go. We see D30. We see hey, I want to work with my grab from Djibouti, so on and so forth. I'm really enjoying this chat right now. As we're just taking a bit of a breather, and that allows me a bit of sip of water. So a bit of insider info. The reason I paused was because Adandi's Uber Eats just came in and food was at the door.
Well, this is what happens when you're not at LAN, folks.
I mean, they're gonna need, all the sustenance they can get because we have 4 more maps after this. I can only hope that his takoyaki was worth it.
I agree.
What's your type of food? Just like out of curiosity.
My favorite kind of food?
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm a sushi kind of guy, but looks like we have no time for that as we're unpaused.
Yeah. Here comes the team right back after each other. Here's the barrage.
That grapple slept, going in with that EMP from Jabo, but no, it looks like it's a reverse of ult this time as that sound barrier comes out, enabling Stripness and D30 to take out their respective tanky counterparts. Lilycat gets the res.
This is going to be the win.
Djibouti. I don't want to call it just yet, as you never know what people like Adandi, who have held the point in similar conditions, can do. But Sherlock does take out Adandi. Both rallies come out. D30 deals with his Brig counterpart, and it's going to be an Artificial Sky victory. Good game, well played.
Yeah, pretty close. It seemed like Artificial Sky was dominating at the end and at the beginning, but as we saw on that second point, Scorched was really able to hold it with their use of Adandi's Doomfist, right? Like, this is what I said at the beginning.
Now, check out that grab Dragon Blade. If it were up to me, I would have definitely given it over to Mewbot's 4K earlier. That really won the fight. But honestly, it's going to be things like ult management. It's going to be things like committing to pushes that Artificial Sky really excelled at. And it's going to be, those high risk, high reward plays that Scorched is known for, with those flanks, with that being a very aggressive Sombra in that tank line that might sometimes go in their favor or it might not. And we definitely saw results of that.
Right. So really great match from both teams, right? So next up we have Scorched picking the map between Lijiang Tower and Nepal. So control point maps are always, totally different than these payload and assault maps. So
and why is that?
Well, let's see. We have equal flanks here, and you don't have one team defending, but as soon as you capture that point, you have to change your mindset. You have to say, okay, we are desperately not going to leave this point. And it's a different, you just have to have a different attitude. So, once you push in, once you're good, you got to kind of hunker down and prepare and really think about what the opponent's going to push in with. So it's really metagamey on the control point maps. So that's always interesting to see how teams try to metagame each other.
So if you were going to try to metagame Scorched, what do you think you would do? Like, would you be thinking, all right, they're going to play goats, we got to play double explosives, Far Mercy? Or what do you think they're going to run here?
Well, to start, they're probably going to run what they're comfortable with. They may have an off DPS or an off support or an off tank to kind of counter and be a weakness, kind of take advantage of a weakness that Art Sky's comp might have. But I think they're going to, like I said, go with what they're comfortable with. Same with Art Sky. You start with what you're strongest with, and then you are fluid depending on the opponent. So being fluid is, I think, really important on King of the Hill, since it's such a short amount of time that you have to make decisions.
Definitely. I'm I'm checking out I'm checking out chat right now. I'm seeing I'm seeing OWP sponsored by Uber Eats. Uber Eats, if you're listening to us, the Mercury Cougars could use some new jerseys. Make it happen. And we're going into Nepal right now. Fiery Panda, that was an almost Poggers barrage.
It could have been a really nice barrage, but I mean, the people who barraged, they had the same, they still won. It was a great distraction, and it allowed for that sound barrier to get full advantage while the team was collapsing on Scorched. So,
and I'm curious why, Jabo has shown incredible restraint with his EMPs, especially on especially on that second point on defense where he EMP'd immediately after that Lucio sound barrier. And I'm curious if he just EMP'd because it was the last couple of seconds, or if he was maybe not anticipating that Lucio sound barrier. That's something I would really want to ask, and just really get in the mind of what was going on in just those last seconds. But anyway, that was one map ago, and it's time to start on this map. We see Artificial Sky coming in with that Pharmacy. With a Pharmacy dive, with that Winston Diva tank line, that Libbycat 89 over on Mercy, Swalama reprising his role on Ana. Swalama, I really feel, was a silent carry, or someone who really, really elevated his teammates' games. And I can't wait to see what he does here.
Round one.
So we had a switch. Did we have any switches before the round started?
I think Sherlock did get switched in. Yeah.
I believe Sherlock just restarted his computer.
Oh, never mind. In that case, I don't believe so.
Yeah, let's move back to the point here. We've got Winston on the flank along with Diva, trying to attack the squishies, diving the tank line a little bit. And there's 2 KOs from Art Sky here.
And it's that dive that we know we've grown to see them almost always succeed at. Immediately, they did jump on, that Ana, that enabled Strike Mist and Djibouti to pick off that Hanzo, to pick off that Reinhardt, and it's going to cause for almost a full reset for Scorched. And that's going to be something that we know they're playing against his strengths, and they're definitely capitalizing on that lack of that hyper-aggressive tank main, who's also the founder of the Overwatch Pretenders server, Ember.
Right. And so you can see here, we have Far Mercy in the sky to counter Brigitte.
And immediately does get that barrage, does get canned. And Adandi does pick up Djibouti, Mubot picking up Libbycat. But it looks like when they were behind, Strike Mist and D30 are just looking to clear up.
That fight right there, I want to let you know, that fight right there was won by Ana Grenade and not anything else.
Speaking of Ana Grenade, Swalama does have Nano come. Strike Mist and Sherlock both have their... We have a lot of ultimates coming up on Artificial Sky side, and it looks like some swaps. Adandi going over to Brigitte. We see that. And it looks like Jabo over on Moira. So they're going back to what they know best. That's goats.
Yep, right? They're going to have a soft push.
And they're looking for, and Djibouti does get that unfortunate pick, and that Nano Blade's going to come out from our sky. D30, Temple Can, and Romeo, and Mubot. And even though Donnie does take out Swalama, that's going to be a very, very, very clear pick, and it's going to be a very clear point for Artificial Sky. And I'm curious why they devoted both Primal Rage and Valkyrie to that.
Well,
because that was in the
they
middle.
They only used 2 ults, so we know that Scorched has one ult, almost 2 ults, right? So they still have 2 ultimates left in reserve here to contest Scorched on their potentially last.
That's right. Perhaps they're looking just to stagger when they can, just sort of devoting all the ults to what they thought was the last fight. Djibouti does pick up 2, but Sherlock does take out Mubot as it does come up in overtime. As it looks like Mubot had some connection issues.
Yeah, it looks like Mubot has probably crashed. So
it looks like that's
probably going to call for a pause here.
It sounds like Scorched is going to need to deal with that.
Yep,
they do have a lot of flex players at the ready, and I really hope that Mubot's able to play, because Mubot's Reinhardt is something I really wanted to see. And it looks like we're pausing for that exact same reason. Next map, as you can see, will be Sanctum.
Sanctum is an always interesting, to see play on because people love to play Orisa Hog on this map. And when
People
you
love to
don't-
play anything environmental. Orisa Hog, we have like Theos, we have Farah, and in fact, I've seen a lot of good Brig play. So I'm really excited to see, CC meta come out in full force.
Right, and don't forget about Doomfist. His punch launches you super far. So
Of course,
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if Adandi is going to run either Doomfist or Brigida on this first round in particular, or on this round in particular, not first round. First round was, well, that was something else.
yeah, so we're just gonna wait here for the pause to run out. We're getting some
Yeah.
questions as to why Ember is not here today, but he probably just had scheduling issues. I know that he works and that he's a student at the same time. So
Right.
he probably just had something going on, and we're a community league, and in my opinion, your real life comes first. So
And
good on him.
And if anyone, as part of the Twitch chat or whoever's watching, isn't part of Overwatch Pretenders and wants to get involved, if you're any rank as just up to masters, in which case you can also be a coach. We definitely encourage you to get involved, and we definitely encourage you to, of course, join a community that's, of course, allowed us to cast, allowed all these wonderful players to showcase their talent, and allowing a lot of people to have a lot of fun. And it looks like we are unpausing right now, and it looks like Harpy is coming in right now as Can swaps over to main tank, picking up that Reinhardt role. It's going to be Can and Turk on that Rhine Hog. Adandi staying on Brig, Romeo and Harpy picking up the picks on Ana and Zen and Jabo over on Hanzo. Oh,
So
looks like
we've
they
got-
are
we've got
going
the-
ball
yeah.
and chain instead.
We've got the Orisa Hog on both teams, but we've got
Yeah.
Widow versus Sniper versus Hanzo, and Genji versus
Versus that other Hanzo, right? So the
Yep.
difference is going to be that Widow versus Genji, and who can have a better pick potential, as D30 immediately can, which is going to be huge. And a second one for Harpy. D30 really making the most worth out of that pocket. Djibouti and Strike Mist just clearing up where they can.
Yeah, that was pretty straightforward there from Art Sky. The Scorched got pretty separated. I think Anna and Roadhog went to the point while the rest of the team stayed behind after Roadhog got hooked.
Now that's something I'm just a little curious about on why they weren't staying together in terms of just the tank staying together, because Roadhog and Orisa, their strength comes from their consistency, and that's a massive nade. Speaking of denying people a lot of healing, and Adandi and Turk are going to take full advantage of that.
They are going to push
Swallow
in though.
and
They've
Shaw.
gotten 3 kills here.
Four, actually.
Yep, and
And it's
Genji's
going to
here
be
on their back
Adandi
line.
flanking around as Can's Nano is going to also come out. Now, something I'm noticing is Adandi loves to flank, whether it be as Doomfist or whether it be as Genji, and it's going to be something that Artificial Sky is going to have to play around, and also around Jabo's Dragons, which he...
Yeah, he Disturdy
Was he intending on
Dragon
changing?
to switch. Yeah, he switched to Tracer.
I see, okay.
He ulted there to just kind of clear them out of the area, use his ultimate. So we got Dive versus Brawl. So Zarya Rhine versus Diva
It's
Winston.
Die versus Deathball, and on a small choke like that, that's going to mean that everyone, well, rather that Winston, is going to be sort of sneaking around left side. Can does get the pick on D30. And
Winston's alone.
And that-
Winston is alone.
it looks like there's going to be that counter dragon, and that Nano comes out, save that Winston, and Libby is going to be going in with that Valkyrie. Does get the res off, but it looks like Artificial Sky is going to get, shut out with that Shatter.
Yeah, Scorched here is almost on like an alt rotation. They're just holding at the choke point, rotating their ultimates. This is the middle of the game where you'll get the most ultimates right, and Art Sky is lagging behind. because they've switched characters in the middle of the game. So
and that's a very, very smart way to play this game, you know, especially now they know we have Grab and Blade, you know, and then now, and we see they're going to have even Nano next fight, right? Even though Dondi did use Blade, we know they're going to have Nano this next fight, as someone's just going around. Strike Mist is just trying to get that last minute cap, but is going to have to reset. I think ultimately staggering himself just a little bit.
He was stuck there anyways. He had dove on the Zenyatta and forced the trance out. And
Very, very true. Very, very true. Well, let's talk about Artificial Sky for a second. They have both Primal Rage and Blade coming out very, very soon. Adani and Jabo
but they're
take
not
out Sherlock. But that's going to be a 135 victory on the side of Scorched for this round.
Yeah, so after Mewbot falling off of the face of the earth here, we have Scorched rallying. You know, that can be a big psychological hit to the team, honestly. So good on them on coming back around and winning it over Artificial Sky here.
Right, right. And for the people in Twitch chat who are saying like, hey, could we get the caster's you know, voice up just a little bit? Like, don't worry, we hear you, and it's gonna happen very soon. So yeah. In the meantime, we'll just talk really loudly, and let's see what Village has to offer. So we see very much a mirror of First Point. We see that Pharmacy over on Artificial Sky, and we see a lot of that like pick comp over on Scorched. Now, I have to really admire Scorch's resilience. Even after Mewbot's DC, they're able to come back with a vengeance and just flex so well. And we see Jabo very much picking up both Strike Mist and D30. Djibouti getting...
This is a 3v3 fight.
Honestly, yeah, they're just trading back and forth. I can't even keep up with the kill feed. They're picking up 2 on Libbycat and Sherlock's mech, but it's going to end up with Orion and a Zarya against a singular Pharah on that point.
Here comes the Winston and the Genji, and I think that may give them an advantage here because they have Pharah.
And they do. D30 just knows how to really maximize his dashes, picking up both of their tanks. Strike Mist playing right outside his shooting range, really just getting that trickle damage where he can, and really just taking advantage of that. But Romeo does get Djibouti, who does get res.
Yeah, so he stole that point for a good 4 to 5%, which is not a small difference.
No, 95 and 99 are going to be these deciding factors.
Yep.
And Djibouti comes in with that barrage, gets Can, and Sherlock and Strike Mist. You know, we're seeing that OG Art Sky dive again, taken out with Jabo and Turk. D30 just there's just no respect with the level of flankiness this Genji will make.
Yeah, they have rallied here. They shut down that push, that sneaky Pharah ultimate, you know, kind of shut them down. So,
and now speaking of ult rotations, we have that grab, we have that nano, 2 full combos coming out, and D30 coming out with the blade and gets 3. Dondi able to pick up Swalama. I'm curious on how much that was an impulse blade from Dondi and how much of that was. Sure.
That was a massive blade there from D30 though.
That was incredible. If that's not play of the game this round, I mean, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that really shut down the team there because you saw Scorch rotate around and Art Sky was out of position, but that's the advantage to dive. So they're doing the same.
Speaking of Scorched, they still have a lot of their ultimates that they're looking for. They still have that grab, they still have that dragon, they're still showing incredible restraint. Almost to the point where I don't even know if they're making a mistake or not, but it looks like they're not because that grab dragon combo is going to shine through. Picking up 2 on Shark and D30, but not for Swalama. Swalama actually killed both tanks.
Yeah, he's taking out that Zarya there.
The nades on this man are incredible.
Yeah, it's been really good to see. It's such an important ability, and to have Ana back in the meta, it's really fun to watch.
It's something I really like. Djibouti really, you know, that's become a signature almost. You know, getting these flank barrages. But it looks like that's going to be No Master Harpy's Transcendence, who's really just trying to stabilize his team on the point. Striker still picks up Jabo. This still very much go either way. Swalama on Harpy, and D30 comes back with another blade.
I think that's going to seal the deal, guys.
I mean, almost. Can try to shatter. It might have caught someone in another universe, but not in this one. Artificial Sky are gonna say no way, because Nepal is going to be ours.
Yeah, after kind of almost a shutout there on Sanctum, I think
Play
Artificial
of the
Sky, that was a strong showing, you know, and they were on dive, but it wasn't quite as beautiful as it was.
And here it is. It's this one.
Triple kill.
It's this triple. You could tell he was really trying to really shut out Adande's Genji.
Yeah, you know, if you both ult, you really have to like look at each other because otherwise you can just wipe the whole team. So it can be kind of important there. All right.
Alrighty, and it looks like right now we're just gonna take just a 2 to 3 minute break, and we're just turning up the volume, getting everyone's desires of hearing our wonderful voices placated.
All right,
And
I
we're
got
gonna
an
see ya.
insider info for you. This is our halftime, so now we're gonna take 10-minute break.
Never mind, it's 10 minutes.
So
I'll
that
be
is the
doing-
perfect time for us to turn up the volume. So we hope that you enjoy our lovely voices.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing stand up in this moment. So no.
That's false. But
No,
another
no,
cool
no.
fact is Anubis is our next map. So be prepared to see some sandy goodness.
Sandy goodness. Well, I do know that Anubis is it's a map that's really designed around its sight lines. It's a very sniper happy map, so I'm excited to see Jabo reprise his role on Widow. I'm really excited to see Djibouti. I've heard Djibouti's Hanzo is something that Scorched team were a little concerned about when I was talking to Jabo. It's, hey, we have to make sure that their DPS aren't popping off the way they were last fight, right? So really, they're really going to be looking toward pick comp. At least that's my prediction for Scorched. And even though it's been 2-0 so far, I'm really feeling Scorched on this one. But what do you think?
Well, I was paying attention to Twitch, so you're going to have to ask me your great questions once more.
So I I think that Temple of Anubis is going to go on Scorched side, because I think that, I can't wait for Adandi to, play that flanky goodness he's all about. I can't wait for, Jabo to reprise his role on Widow. But what do you think? I think it's going to go Scorched side.
So
But
you
I
think
mean-
Scorched has it because of Adondia diving and flanking and everything. So you mentioned Djibouti, kind of controlling the game with his Hanzo play. That shuts down a lot of sight lines.
Exactly. At least that's what happened in previous matches earlier in the season. That's what Scorched is, I was told, pretty worried about in some interviews I had with him.
Yeah. So we have some meta stuff to talk about on Anubis. So first point, there's the treetop defense where you sit on both sides of the high ground and kind of let them come through the choke. So if Scorched is on goats, that's going to work really well, But if they're on attack, right? If they're on dive, that could be really difficult. And vice versa,
Right.
if you have Artificial Sky on attack, and we know how much they like to play dive, and Scorched wants to try to run treetop, I think that's going to be disastrous. So again, I definitely going to come down to team comps here. They're really close in skill. So
100%. Each of these rounds have been really close in that. So like the first round of Nepal, it was we saw that beautiful Artificial Sky dive. The second round, we definitely saw that really hard-headed, stubborn Scorched defense, right? So if I were to say that, it's not a close game, I'd be lying. And I can't wait to see Temple of Anubis also, show that level of gameplay. I'm actually also paying attention to Twitch chat right now. I know exactly we're having a couple of people who are playing in this game also say, hey, we're here too. Adandi saying, leave my team alone. It's something I'm looking for. Master Jingles now says, we didn't come here for comedy, but you're going to hear my response about it, Master Jingles, in 3 minutes. So that's going to be something. But something
mean,
I'm also
I already
really,
told all
really
my
looking forward
jokes at the beginning of the stream.
Oh yeah, is that right?
Well, we heard the puns and they were ushered in.
Don't. I swear, if this is a setup for another pun,
You can almost call me the pun usher.
I. Oh my god. Press F to pay respects to my sanity, chat, please. Something I'm also really excited to see is Artificial Skies' dive over on Temple of Anubis. Temple of Anubis is it's one of those maps where I've seen almost every comp work under the sun, and that's because we have that really early left side flank on attacker's side. We have sort of that back high ground if you ever wanted to bunker up with even like an Orisa Bastion or anything like that. So it's going to be flexibility, which is going to be the name of the game here. And it looks like we do have a couple of substitutions. That was X Chiron. X is coming in. I'm just going to call him Chiron for the time being. And so he's going to be coming in. And
we have Can staying in, and we have Harpy staying in.
Right, as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to include post Mewbot. Right,
Mhm.
post Mewbot DC, and I really hope she can play again, and I really hope that's a problem.
So guess
that's
what?
very limited in scope. What's up?
It's time to start. We've got readies from both sides of the team. So everyone, we're going to enter Egypt here, see what they can dig out of the ruins at Temple of Anubis.
Now, I'm curious on, do you think the Overwatch team cares if they do damage to these ruins? Because these have to be historical sites, right?
I mean, it almost looks like a city. It looks like a city to me.
I mean, there's a massive sarcophagus up on Point B. I'm just curious on what mummy is that big? That's my question. Can Omnics die? Do they also get sarcophagized?
It might just be a memorial to all of the Omnics that have perished at the hands of the humans here.
Well,
not to be morose.
Speaking of Omnics, we do see a Zen over on Scorch's. What is that? That is a Scorched defense. No, that's a Scorched attack. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Scorched here on attack.
Yeah, we see Harpy on Zen. We see Can really trying to take advantage of those discords on Widow. Jabo and Romeo both on dive tanks. Adandi bringing up the power on Doofus, and Chiron on Mercy.
And like you said, we get to see Widows on both teams.
Ooh, that's something I'm really looking forward to. Over here at Insider Chat, they're mentioning this is just like Spitfire versus NYXL, but if you guys ever saw, what is it, the Fuel versus the Dynasty stage 1, it was the very first map of Overwatch League besides preseason. These were very similar to the comps that they ran, so it's whoever wins this Widow 1v1 battle that might just end up deciding how this goes. And something I'm really excited to see. Strike Mist going for that 6-second shield. Very nice strategy. And it looks like Scorch is all trying to go left side. They did almost get everyone. They did almost get everyone, and Doomfist is looking for an even bigger flank.
Yeah, Doomfist is looking like to go. Widow is here solo, kind of waiting for her team to dive in. She's going to
Djibouti's looking to rotate, and it looks like that Doomfist.
Yeah, Doomfist is going in.
And that's going to make Scorch be very aggressive. Can't take something. Kept Harpy on D30. Sherlock does get a Dondi.
We have Swalama here up on the high ground, but he's going to get dove by D.Va.
And this is just going to be such a clean pick over by Scorch. Nobody was contesting. Chiron up on the high ground on first point, and that's going to allow for a lot of sustain. You can't let Mercies go back in that way.
Yeah, you really have to take those guys
As Artificial Sky immediately begins setting up on second point, we do see Strike Mist going over to Reinhardt. We see Djibouti on that Tracer, D30 on that Brig, and they have a very Death Volley comp. As this Doomfist just immediately goes in, does get stunned just a little bit. Romeo takes that D30. That's going to be huge.
Wow,
as 3 people go down. and that's going to be because nobody's contesting Can, right? Who takes out Strikemist, gets a lot of damage off. That nuke immediately comes out on Scorch's side. As that second tick becomes theirs. So even if they lost this fight, they would get so much ground. But it looks like they're devoting everything to it, including that Meteor Strike, including that Valkyrie.
There was a pretty big charge there on Winston from Strikemist.
There was, and even though everybody's anti-Strikemist gets a double. Oh, it might just go in the way of Artificial Sky. That Nano Brig surprisingly did a lot of damage there. Strikemist over on Romeo.
Yeah, it looks like it's just Widow left trying to get some last-minute picks. Doomfist backing off.
And Doomfist, even when he's backing out, he's looking to get those picks. If that's not a true Doomfist, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
D30 coming in, getting the pick on Adandi. Let's talk ultimates for a second. Over on Artificial Sky, we have that pulse bomb. We have Rally, which they might use it preemptively, but they do have sights held on them on Can from Scorched, and Harpy also has Transcendence, so he's going to be waiting for that shatter from Strikemist. Nobody gets pick on Harpy, but who does get rezzed? Romeo antied.
Yeah, Mercy coming in, Strikemist taking D.Va out of mech. Scorched kind of doing a no ultimate push here. They just had, sights up. I think they were kind of trying to bait something out from Art Sky, because they've got 5 minutes to play with.
But, I can't help but think that they also gave Artificial Sky a lot of ultimate charge. I mean, now we know they have Shatter. Now we know they have Nuke. Now they know we have, Rally. So they have a lot of tools to work with as well.
Yeah, Art Sky did use Pulse Bomb to initiate that fight there in the back line. They ended
up
getting...
does get an early pick on that DPS that they're so... I'm not going to say afraid of, but mindful of Djibouti, as now they do swap over to dive takes, and both Romeo and Winston go in, try to get that dive on the Brig, prompting that Rally, and that nuke immediately comes out. That means everyone's going to be sort of hiding around. Does get Libby Cat. Strikemist gets the solo shatter on Adandi. He's trying to call his team to focus this Doomfist, who's been giving them so much trouble. Jabo and Harpy do go down by Shark to Djibouti. I still think this is going to be an Artificial Sky fight, but it's a 3v3 right now.
Yeah, this could be a close fight, but remember, spawn advantage is the 200 IQ play here, so we need something
and I guess
big.
So are these intense antis. Swallow, although I feel like Anna's not a flashy hero, the plays that she enables definitely are, and if that's not a fantastic example of that, nanoing that D.Va to keep her alive, right? Be sure we're pumping in as much heals and damage as we can. That's going to be an Artificial Sky point. As Strikemist is so incredibly aggro, right? Getting that support from D.Va, soloing the Mercy.
Oh my gosh, Strikemist does go down to the Mercy pistol though, so he was out of position, but really it didn't matter. He led his team up to the front there, and that enabled them to, take space just like a tank wants to.
And speaking of enabling plays, we do see Djibouti just sort of being very, very sneaky here.
Yeah, we know he has Pulse Bomb.
And okay, if I were Djibouti, who would I be targeting? Probably that Zen who has Transcendence. He's probably seen that, but no, he does get perhaps caught out by Adandi.
No. This is a good play.
Not Adandi.
He's just distracting Adandi. Hey,
but he does get that Zen. Djibouti getting both supports. That's going to shut down this fight immediately. Even taking out Jabo for a ride. That's going to be a 1-2 fight with Djibouti's name all over it.
Yeah, I think Scorched was relying on that Transcendence to push them in there through that choke, kind of give them a fighting chance. They still have 2 minutes. They are at ult disadvantage, and so it's going to be a tough fight for Scorched. But I have faith that they can give us some good game here. So.
And it looks like Sherlock just trying to get in whatever damage he can. He does have ultimate, so he knows that, he can play around that rally. Pass into that Transcendence. It's not going to happen. He's going to get triple on both tanks. And Adandi.
What a bomb.
What a bomb.
Right, so we saw the shatters come out there and the charges come out, and then the counter charge. And that bomb was just... It took them unexpected. You saw D.Va waiting behind the team in her position she's currently in now.
And the thing is, so did Scorched. Scorched saw the D.Va waiting behind the team. So I'm very curious on, on really how much aggression is too aggression, so much so that they might lose sight of what's going on. But nonetheless, you know, we're fighting, and that tack visor comes out, and that's where from Ken he gets slept. Swalma with a nano. That's gonna be such a huge sleep. Dreamy takes out Harpy, but no, Ken and Jabo are fighting back with a vengeance. It's still gonna be a 4v4 as that shatter comes out, but Jabo does get knocked up into the air. He gets knocked up
here
into the air.
Yeah. This is weird. We've got Reinhardt all the way up at the front, taking out the other Reinhardt.
You know,
like 3 Scorched members on the point. Doomfist trying to dive in. What is going on?
Well, rather, no matter how far he is, he's by Libby Cat. We see that Mei swap. It's Mei, and I think Mei is going to swap back over to Ana as soon as Swag gets the opportunity. But no. In fact, the studies did swap over to Briggs while on Mei. And they're just going to wait this out. They're saying, you know what? I don't want to give them the second point. We're going to make sure they work for every step of the way. And we see that Diva one more time. Sherlock looking to get that last minute nuke, trying to get whatever damage they can.
Yeah, they don't want Doomfist coming in. Mei is going to counter that Doomfist really hard.
And Djibouti does pick up Dundee, does get Pulse Bomb. Rally comes out into the mortar. Old Strike Miss Dusty got JBO. Now that's going to be huge, right? Because Scorched doesn't have a Mercy, right? So a lot of key targets that they could have resurrected to stay in this fight, they don't have that luxury. And Artificial Sky knows that. Salama taking out Hairpiece, Strike Mist on Romeo. And it looks like overtime is slowly ticking away as that Doofus below is trying to get those last bits in.
So there was a lot of close pushes there, as you saw. I mean, Scorched got 2 ticks. So like they just were never able to manage their ultimates, I think, properly. Not necessarily properly, but there was just such a overwhelming advantage for Artificial Sky that late in the game. So it was great to see, you know, that first initial push. It was super exciting.
I really feel
I would believe that they could bring it back through, but it just didn't end up working out.
I really feel like a consistent sort of thing that Artificial Sky are able to do is they know how to rotate ults very, very effectively. Also, I think I said McCree at one point in time, but there was McCree in that entire round, so that was my mistake.
Yeah, maybe you were thinking about Soldier or something.
Yeah, you know, like when they're slept and, you know, as a spectator, they're similar. I'll give myself a pass for that one. I know chat won't, but that's okay.
Yeah, soon enough we're going to start referring to players only in their class roles. We don't really even care about the characters.
I'm just going to refer to them by their skins now. So Snow Owl does this. No.
That may get a little confusing.
Just a little bit. Over on Scorch's side, we do see a Sim Bastion defense, which is very, very interesting. Of course, you know, the reworked Sim, I feel like a lot of people are still working around with her potential and what she's capable of, but it looks like they're just going to hold high ground over on first point. And meanwhile, we see some very, very divey things along with a Torbjorn from D30.
Interesting.
But I think he just might be playing around. Part of me wants to say he's just playing around, but hey, if he's sticking through with it, I'm ready.
So I talked about this a little bit before the match. This is like the treetop defense, right? I don't know if I'm getting the name right, but you stay at the high ground with Orisa, you hunker down, and we'll see if the dive from Art Sky can do what it wants to do.
I feel like this is going to be really tough because they have a lot of sustain of where they're at, right? Orisa's Fortify, you know, things like Bastion Self-Heal, and of course the Ana's up there with them. That's going to be incredibly tough for them to break straight head on as if the entire thing was a singular dive target. That's not something they're looking for. They're just looking to take as much tiny high ground as they can, right? We see Strikemist sort of sneaking around on the left side.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for his team. You know, he knows that that's the position they have to take to counter this strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at from the other side here.
Yeah, and Strikemist is just waiting, and he's going in with a dive with that Zen Orb, just forcing people off high ground, just trying to break that away. And it looks like Scorched just repositioned in the back. Strikemist does get Harpy and D30, and D30 and Djibouti pick up who they need to in that On and Bastion, but no, that Symmetra Diva and Orisa, you know, just that gigantic level of sustain and damage resistance and regenerating shields are going to be holding down the point for them. They have to be looking at X Chiron X for a possible shield, right? And how they're going to play around that and around that ultimate. But it looks like they're not going to even let them think about it because they're just immediately going back on that teleporter, immediately relocates that, and there comes a shield along with the blade from Djibouti into the nuke. Romeo
Wow.
getting 3.
What a big nuke there from Romeo. He really needed that.
What a gigantic diva ultimate. And Harpy and Romeo and Jabo are just cleaning up right now. But I very much do think that Artificial Sky are going to try to get back here as soon as possible, just for playing around with that spawn advantage. And right now, Adandi basically almost coming back on point, barely making it in that Doomfist, right to meet that Genji and that Winston head on. And it looks like there comes out the turbocharger, which forces Artificial Sky back.
Deserti's trying to get the flank here with the Winston.
Djibouti did clear out on that charger, and Sherlock getting Swalama, and Libby Cat also just getting that damage, and Sherlock has taken out half of this team. That's something that cannot be understated.
Yeah, Diva being so mobile, it makes it really easy for her to jump around. And we know that these mobile dive heroes are the counters to Bastion and Symmetra, and they use their abilities instead of their movement, to take their position. So,
and in many cases, why not both? As this does seem to be Sky Point, unless Adandi now on Reaper Doom ever wanted to contest, but it looks like they're going to be walking over to a point B that's also Symmetra turreted up with a lot of ults at their disposal. They have 4. They have that Diva, Tracer, Mercy, and Genji. And it looks like Bomb immediately does get eaten, which is going to be very, very big. That's from Romeo. Nuke comes out, does get X-Power on X, prompts the nuke of his own. Djibouti gets 1, Strike Miss on another.
Art Sky just taking out the Diva here. Valkyrie is coming out, and that's going to take the Diva off the point.
And they're going to try their best to cap point as soon as possible. This is going to be a 4-minute lead for them. That game's looking to...
Wow, there we go, guys. The trans cannot save them.
That's going to be it. Oh, that's going to be it. And did I say 4-minute lead? I just meant... I'm just...
Yeah. It's okay.
I'm just stuttering all over the place. But once you got this play of the game, this must have been the first fight.
Yes.
Where everybody just sort of teleported around, getting a triple. This was incredible. I think Chiron's contributions cannot be overstated here.
Yeah, it's really nice to see a Symmetra player, bring actual talent. Well, we got some puns coming in from the Scorched, or from the Twitch chat. We have had Scorched burn up, is what they say. So good pun on them. I appreciate their cooperation with my humor here. But what I was saying earlier was that Artificial Sky used their momentum to push in through that second point. So they were on first point. They weren't being very successful, but they used their movement skills to come on to the point, take out the immobile heroes like Bastion and Symmetra, and then it was just Diva and Orisa left, who can kind of just fall apart to some like another Diva and a Winston and just a support, right? So then you have them diving all the way into the second point when it looked like Scorch was ready, but the trading of the Diva bombs, it got someone much more important in favor of the Art Sky side. Scorched bomb was kind of a panic bomb. I think it could have been saved, and it would have made it so their Diva could have gotten back to the point. Stalled again. I don't know. The momentum there was so crazy that not having 3 ticks to be able to play it out was really hindering to Scorched's strategy. So
and I couldn't help but think how okay. I couldn't help but think, if they were to, get that second point on Temple, it was just how different it would have been, right? Because I really did want to hear, I really did want to see dive coming up from Scorched. But honestly, it's going to be Artificial Sky who ends up just playing their ultimates really well. Just that communication that I was talking about early on is going to lead them to victory. And it's just going to make for some damn good Overwatch.
Yep. Speaking of victory here, this is the game and match point for Artificial Sky. So they have won the series, and they have won Overwatch Pretenders Season 2.
Once again, congratulations to Artificial Sky. Claps in chat.
Give me some claps, boys. So we appreciate you guys coming out. Make sure you check out Overwatch Pretenders on Overwatch Pretenders Twitch here that you are. And then we have an open Discord server that is here for you all to learn. So I hope you enjoy this stream.
Well as and we also have a YouTube channel. And just check them out. Join if you're interested, and we can't wait to be on the battlefield.
This has been Moshi Man,
and this has been Forebears.
Overwatch Pretenders out.
We've been your casters.